If a conversation can trigger you to leave the faith, how solid is your faith? Like, what did you build your faith on? My hubs is a psychologist, and talking about certain topics can trigger ideation. You want to be careful to talk about it in an edifying way, not wanting to tempt people away from the faith. Well, I know topics can trigger ideation. You're talking about self-deletion, ideation. What do you mean by ideation? You're talking about certain topics within Christianity can, or with skeptics, can trigger self-deletion ideation or trigger somebody to leave the faith. Listen, this is how I feel. But before we get into that, guys, my name is Ruslan, and this channel exists to encourage, empower, and inspire you to live a life that blesses God. On this channel, we drop podcast clips and topics that are a little too spicy for the main channel. So if you're new here or if you're not new here, please make sure you're subscribed here too, as we're edging on 250,000 subscribers, and huge majority of you guys that watch this channel, unfortunately, are not subscribed. All right, let's jump into the video. If a conversation can trigger you to leave the faith, how solid is your faith? Like, what did you build your faith on? Because if you built your faith on this like moralistic therapeutic deism, God is like some therapist that's in the sky here to only fix your problems and make you happy, and there's no real surrender and lordship you have to have over your life, and you think that there's a pot of gold at the end of the tunnel. If that's your definition of faith, and me having a hard conversation about the problem of evil and how we reconcile that, or fill in the blank of hard theological topic, like, what was your faith built on? It gets really hairy when you have a faith that is superficial, moralistic therapeutic deism. When they surveyed people in the 2000s about what their faith was, they found out that it wasn't really Christian. How many Christian people that are literate? This is why I get irritated when people dunk on The Chosen. Fam, The Chosen has more people going back to the scriptures than any other aspect of mainstream media or media in general. So we need people to be more scripturally literate, not less scripturally literate. And so if people aren't scripturally literate and their faith is built on a house of cards around God being some genie in the sky that's going to make your wildest, happiest dreams come true, that's not the faith that I signed up for. That's not the Jesus that I follow. It's never been the Jesus that I followed. And I'm fortunate that I didn't make money off of my faith until 20 years into it. I didn't make a dime off of being a public Christian until I was walking with God for 20 years. Now, maybe it would have been different. Maybe if I'm a new convert and all of a sudden I'm popping on YouTube, and maybe that would have been harder for me. I don't know. But and at the time that was hard, guys. Like being a Christian, making Christian music or like music from a Christian, and not being invited to play churches or conferences or any of this sort of stuff for years. Like, we didn't get any of the looks that these guys who are now deconverting got. We didn't get any of the invites that these guys who are now deconverting got. And a lot of these guys that are now deconverting were critical of us 15 years ago, 18 years ago. And oddly enough, we're all still walking with Jesus. They were critical of my mentors, who are oddly enough all still walking with Jesus. So like, I didn't get a bag in the church. I had to go into the world and figure it out. I had to go out into the world and figure out how to get non-Christians to pay me for my art, and to build the little bit of tribe that we had as the breaks from Christians. I had to go into the world and figure out how to get the spoken word communities behind my music. And so I am so thankful for that. I'm so thankful for that. I am so thankful for that. There was no embracement of me by the Christian rap community, because now what is going on there? I mean, how many scandals did we have? Public scandals. And then dudes got right. How many folks have walked away from the faith from that circle? I'm not going to name no names, but you guys can fill in the blanks. And so I'm grateful. And you let Lecrae tell it, and go back and watch my conversation with Lecrae. They had rules, and if you didn't say Jesus this many times and you weren't rapping about your theology, you were out. So what was that to us? I was making the same music now that I was making back then. Maybe even more overtly Christian now. And so I am so glad that like I was not embraced by that world. I'm so glad that these guys in 116 had a stronghold on that community, and anything that wasn't Jesus was not going. And so we had to go figure it out. We was doing NACA conferences. We was doing secular college shows. We was touring. We was in front of 99% non-Christian audiences. In terms of our money, we'd still do the youth group, but we would do the youth group for free because they ain't had no budget. So I'm so grateful for that. Praise God. Praise God. And now the moment that I'm really, I guess a high profile Christian, whatever you want to call me, celebrity, if you want to call me, like, I'm so grateful that it's like, I'm about to be 40. It may have been different if I was experiencing this at 25 or 30, but I'm about to be 40. I'm rock solid in terms of my faith by the grace of God. My marriage is solid. Like, my family's solid. Everyone's good. That doesn't mean tragedy may not happen. It doesn't mean suffering may not come. It doesn't mean it might, you know what I mean? Like, all that stuff is possible. But by the grace of God, I'm good. And I'm so happy that there was a lid over my success, that I wasn't embraced by the Christian world, that I was kept out. And again, I'm being honest with you guys. Now that I'm invited in, I'm not impressed. God's been good to me, man. God's been so good to me. And listen to me. God's been good to me in allowing me not to be successful for a very long time. The goodness of God in my life is more evidenced by him allowing me not to be successful and to struggle and suffer that I didn't understand. He's been good in allowing me to not be successful, to not have these things for a long time. Because now that I have these things and we're doing well, I'm not going to lie to you guys. Like, we're doing well because of you guys. We're doing well, not because of the Christian industry or a cosign or a stamp. Because of you guys, we're doing well. And now that we are, this don't define me. This stuff don't define me. The numbers don't define me. The money doesn't define me. None of this stuff defines me. Jesus is where my identity is from. So I'm all for the uncomfortable conversations. I like them. I like the tension because I have them in my real life. I got real friends that I'm really wrestling with stuff through in my real life. And so if, like, we could have them publicly and the community here is comfortable with that, then I'm for it. I think it's fire. Personally, I think it's fire. But I'm being vulnerable with you guys in that, like, yeah, like, I'm a little irritated. Like I'm a little irritated. Like, another one, fam. Like, come on, dog. My man Dayton's in the chat or was in the chat. He knows what I'm talking about. He knows exactly who I'm talking about. Come on, fam. Like, stop. Just go right off into the shadow. Go right off into the shadows and just go live your life. Thank you so much for checking out the video. Comment down below and let me know what you think. And be sure to check out this video that YouTube is recommending just for you. Let me know if they nailed it. All right? I'll see you over there. Peace. After the incredible success of our Bless God prayer journal, many of you guys began to ask for something that had a planner. And so we combined our Bless God prayer journal with a brand new leadership planner that jam-packs the same things from our prayer journal with a planner, goal setting, leadership meeting, and notes. With the next pages, you can see different sections right along here of this leadership planner where you can start out with actionable goals, 12 months of calendar, our original prayer journal prompts, our leadership journal with the proven problem solution framework, and of course, just free write notes. This leadership planner is based off of Matthew 25:14-30, which of course is the parable of the talents. The vision of the planner is to help you make the most of your time, talent, and treasure. Head over to blessgod.shop and get yours today. All right, I'll see you over there. Peace.